What's up, guys? It's Starforge here. I am back finally for a Dragon Age video. Today we've got a review, and this review is not out of 0 out of 10. Okay, yeah, no, this is not out of 10. This is out of an even bigger number. This is the biggest review number you've ever seen for Dragon Age. And as always, it will be at the end. If you really want to see it, you can go and click ahead. But I'd love for you to stay, watch, and listen. Dragon Age Veilguard is the game that we were waiting for. My whole channel literally went into sleep waiting for this after Dragon Age videos on Inquisition for building. Inquisition was one of my most favorite games. It's the whole reason that I even did anything on YouTube. So in my eyes, this had a lot to live up to. I've also played through all of Dragon Age 2, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and a whole ton of Origins, but I was so young. I can't really compare much, but from everything you hear and from the bits that I do remember and played, these are phenomenal games. The unfortunate case is that Dragon Age Veilguard, at least in my eyes and from what I hear from many people, is it just simply isn't a Dragon Age game. It's incredibly... it's disappointing, to say the least, because this was something I was so hyped for so long, and for them to even call this game a Dragon Age game in itself just feels like a bit of an insult. Like, they could have just called this something completely different, run with it something different, and you maybe even got a different reception to it, okay? You might have. But let's start with my first point in this video, the loot. So loot is my first topic. The loot in this game feels insignificant, feels random, out of place, out of touch, and in my eyes is a massive reason as to why I don't enjoy the pace of the game. So as you're going through combat, loot is just scattered throughout the world as you're going, but not just randomly, you know, as you're going through a town. It's in the middle of combat. You're trying to go to the end boss or trying to fight a dragon because Gillian has corrupted it. And what do we have here? Wait a minute, I need to hold up everyone because there's a piece of loot, okay? There's like some chest that I'm trying to find, and oh, we're gonna go down this path, and I need to destroy this barrier because some loot's here. And yay, I get a griffin helmet, which I'm never gonna use. So I'm on this intense mission, right, trying to stop the elven, ancient, whatever they want to call it, god, and I've got to follow torches, and there's some random loot boxes that I need to get to. So all of my intensity of everything that I was doing has just been completely destroyed by the fact that there's loot. Then I go into another combat sequence. Great, okay, fine. Hello, look, we're finally doing stuff. We kill it. Don't worry, there's a little puzzle that we need the griffin to solve so that I can go get a chest with completely useless stuff in it. I'm sure you can see where I'm coming from here. The flow, the momentum, it is all gone. I've got to pick up all these random pieces to help me in my crafting, which that's a whole nother thing. And it just stops the flow and the momentum of the game. I feel like it's a really sad thing, especially since coming from Inquisition, where I loved finding gear. Every piece of gear is amazing. You find these uniques, and they change the way that you potentially even want to build. I remember potentially one of the first reasons I even started is because of the ring in Inquisition that makes you invisible and lets you crit on a mage. It game-changing. Meanwhile, I've gone and killed a champion, and I get an amulet, which is so useless, I'm never even going to put it on. Even though it's a legendary amulet, it's from like a level 30, which I did when I was level 15, because I wanted to try something else other than the main game. And it's just completely taken off. Crafting in Inquisition, I could craft like the most awesome weapons to whatever I specifically wanted, my stat points for my build that I was trying to go for, that I'm trying to hone. But this is just, you have your weapon, just upgrade it, +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. What does it cost? I don't even care. You know, I've picked up all of the crap on the way, on the missions, that I don't even have to worry about what gear I'm upgrading, or what it's going to, or what it does. I don't even know. It's just more damage. Great. That's it. So unfortunately, loot in this game is just in my mind, a real frustration point where it feels relatively meaningless and there's no uniqueness in my eyes to a lot of them. Even the upgrades, I never even ended up caring that much about. And the whole loot system just breaks the flow of so many things. It's really frustrating. The next thing I want to get to is companions. Okay, Dragon Age is a huge game about your party, your companions, what you can do with them. In this game, you don't even get control over your party, right? You don't even get to control them. You don't get to do pretty much anything with them. All you get to do is have them have a couple of abilities, all of which, though, have shared cooldowns. So realistically, you can only use one ability, right? You literally have one ability. That's it. So you have 2 side characters. You're not even at 4 characters. You used to be able to have a party of 4 because it's a party. Now you've only got 2 random side characters that just come with you. And all they are for is so that you can have an extra ability. One of the most frustrating bits as well, doing main missions, is that you're locked into a companion. The companions, in my eyes, the way I was beginning to start building, and especially with the fact that combo points, not combo points, but combos themselves are such a huge part of this game, clearly, that you've made your build around your companions. I was finally getting to the point where I thought, you know what? I've made a fun build. It works well. I can combo with my one character. I can combo with my other character. No. Let's get your companion, throw it out, and your build is ruined because this companion now can't do what your other one was doing. So, what, am I meant to just change my build every single main mission? Or realistically, what I ended up doing is just going, well, you know what, I just don't care. Like, what's the point in trying? Let me just run with some just random spells and we'll go with them. It was frustrating. I've always loved in a Dragon Age the fact that not only do you get to slowly craft your companion over time, but you get to end up controlling them. You get to play them. The amount of times I ended up in the Inquisition being like, well, I'm on my mage playthrough. I've played, 200 hours on my mage. I maybe want to try one of the other classes. Great. I can go and play another class. I can go and try them out. And then when I'd crafted them to what I want to be in my party and what my party wants to do. One of the last things on companions, I'm sure there's like a million other things, but one of the biggest things in my mind is that they are literally invincible. How are we meant to have any sense of worry when I could just sit at the back and let just our companions do all the work because they can't die? Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. How are we going to defeat the elvish gods and these dragons and stuff? Don't worry. Just send the invincibles in. What's the point? This is just a solo player game in a game which used to be a party of 4, which I actually cared about. It is extremely infuriating. On top of the actual companion design, in which I just have zero care for almost any of the people that I've come across compared to any of the other stories where I ended up finding characters. I was enjoying the characters, their personalities. In this one, I haven't found any reason to care much, as well as just the random NPCs dotted around. You see here just Holden. Who the hell is this guy? Maybe I should have known him if I didn't skip all of the dialogue, but I don't care about the dialogue. And then there's been this little girl who casually has been helping us get through the Blight. This random tiny child is saving us from the Blight and somehow still alive. Like, is the Blight just useless? What is going on? What is going on? The third topic, I think I'm on 3. I've lost count, honestly. The third topic that I want to get to is the combat. Being someone who's made their entire channel around builds, around combat, this is such an integral part to me, and I have enjoyed so much the combat and the building in the other Dragon Age games. So much so. Because you have 4 characters that you're carefully crafting what you want them to do, how they're going to play, how they might interact with each other. And in this one, we get none of it. Your own character can only have 3 abilities. That's it. That's all you get. Pretty much all of combat for me at least, and it seems when you look at it, it's just left click, left click, left click, right click. Great. Okay, left click, left click. Like, I'm sorry, this is just not fun. I don't know where this sits in a Dragon Age game where all I'm doing is just left click, left click, left click, right click. I'm used to having all of my abilities available so that I can go and choose which one I'm going to use in this situation and how I'm going to combo them up. And now I only get 3 skills. I ended up feeling relatively happy with the fact that I worked out you can have 3 active skills, which is you have 2 ones that are on cooldown, so you can use them both, and 1 mana ability. If you use multiple mana abilities, odds on you're just going to use one and you're never going to have mana for another one. And then ending up with builds is having your companions be your 4th and 5th skill. They also have the option of having 1 ability that can just randomly activate. I'm pretty sure every companion has this. So for build-wise, every companion is just 1 ability, 1 random cooldown ability that just happens automatically. You can't choose which one that is. It's just they each just have 1 that just randomly goes off. And then your 3 spells. And all of these random passes, which is just like, your left click, you can now right click. Okay? Right? Okay. You can dodge. I could already dodge before, but now you can dodge slightly quicker. They just feel really insignificant. And especially the point I touched on earlier, where your companions basically are your 4th and 5th skill. Seen as they're invincible, seen as you can't control them, seen as they basically aren't there, it's just you. It's just you versus the world. And the fact that they are your 4th and 5th skill, you've crafted your build around them. Then the fact that you go onto a story mission and you can't pick which companions you take because you have to take this one companion, just completely bricks your build. Because you've only got these tiny amount of spells. Granted, it's a game where it doesn't actually really matter if your build gets broken because it's really not that hard. At the same time, for someone like me who really enjoys crafting a build, enjoys the experience of it, it's just something that absolutely destroys the progress that I've been trying to make and the vision that I've been trying to do. My last point that I want to make is dragons. This is a Dragon Age game. Granted, I've come from Dragon Age Inquisition, therefore we fight loads of dragons, and the other games, you don't have as many dragons. But why is there like almost no dragons? Maybe there is later in the story. I'm never actually going to be able to get around to playing it. We finally got to a dragon. I should hopefully have a clip in the background of this dragon. Hallelujah. Firstly, though, what the hell is this cutscene going on? Guys tiptoeing over some goddamn traps, right? He stumbles over traps, and I'm pretty sure he attacks us, and then somehow he walks backwards, and then magically turns around in time to then be shot. But, okay, fine. So we don't even get to fight the dragon. Wow. That's all I wanted for, is a goddamn dragon fight. Then what happens? Nope, it's a big eel, like, Hydra, like, what the hell? I was so disappointed. Oh, look, we quit the game. I couldn't even believe the fact that we don't get to fight a dragon. We get to fight some Hydra worm. It was extremely disappointing. This is a Dragon Age game. One more thing I've just realized as well. Flicking through the footage, I'll skip to it. I don't get what all of these random action motion like events are. We're trying to get through it. Oh no, the floor's broken, so let's just slightly traverse over this log, so I have to, you know, go into a certain camera and go over it. And I remember earlier in the campaign there's one where you, don't worry, you have to like creep through the wall, or when you're sliding down stuff. Like, no effect. What are they adding to the story and the plot? Like, just remove that from the game and put your effort into something else. Like, why is this here? It just stops my gameplay. It doesn't add anything interesting to this game. So there you go, guys. Overall, this game just isn't a Dragon Age game. I could probably rabbit on for a very long time, but I've tried to condense my views to a few key topics. I know I probably almost slightly went off every single one, but the main point is that just this is not a Dragon Age game. To be fair, the combat is fun enough for a couple hours, maybe. But then after that, it's just, this is the same combat. You know, it doesn't get any funner. It doesn't change up much. So realistically, it's fun for a couple of hours, and then that's it. But for a game which is meant to be a Dragon Age game, it's at its price point, there's just not even enough to keep me wanting to play it. And it's a sad time. I'm a big fan of Dragon Age. Anyone who's watched this channel before knows I was waiting for this game. But nope. If anything, all this game wants me to do is actually makes me want to play Dragon Age Inquisition again. Especially with some of the new mods where you can play the multiplayer classes in single player. Like, the game was so good. I spent so much time in it, so much fun in it, to start making videos and share with the community, which was some of the most fun I've ever had. And then to just land on this. Look, I wanted to make this review once I finished the game. And I'm very, very sorry, especially to anyone who actually maybe does enjoy the game, that I'm just not going to be able to finish this game. Anytime I have time to be able to play the game, I'm just going to go play something else. Because I don't want to spend my time on it. I'm not having fun. And the whole reason why I wanted to make videos and why I love Dragon Age, especially Inquisition, was because I love the game and I had so much fun in the game. And I'm just, it's a sad time to say that this game does not bring me any of that. So for the big rating I have revealed at the start, we're going to do this out of playtime. So we're going to do Dragon Age Veilguard playtime versus Dragon Age Inquisition playtime. And I worked out I actually had 500 hours in Inquisition. Game that is on sale however many times now. Game of the Year edition. You can go and get 500 hours easy. This game, meanwhile, is 15. So I'm going to have to give Dragon Age Veilguard a 15 out of 500. If you want to convert that in a out of 10 review, please go do the maths. It's unfortunately a very low figure. And I do actually also want to add on top of that, I've done 15 hours in Veilguard, most likely because I wanted to play through the whole game to give the best and most honest review. And that's why I kept playing. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if I probably stopped around the hour 8 mark because I just didn't want to go ahead. I remember distinctly when I found, I believe it's Tash, and the first mission you go on with them, they literally say, I don't want to be here. And you say, oh, we've come to help. They're like, I don't want it. You're like, okay, then why the hell are we here? Why am I playing this game? Dragon Age genuinely has been an integral part of my life. All of the community that we have built here is fantastic. And to see, at least in my eyes, it kind of just be crushed is such an underwhelming feeling. And I really do hope some of you managed to get a lot of joy out of this game and enjoy your time. But unfortunately, that's not going to be it for me. If anything, all I can say build-wise is make your character, your companions, have one skill and one auto cooldown. Don't be too precious because none of it even means anything because you're just going to get your companions taken away from you. And the last thing, the last bit of advice is if you're thinking about this game, go buy Inquisition instead and have a good time. And if you're an OG gamer and you like older school stuff, go and buy Origins and have a fantastic time. Sorry that this video had to be such a downer. I wish I could have been more positive about it. Some of you may have seen my MTG video, Magic the Gathering. Odds on, I'll be honest, I like to make content about stuff I love. And that's what makes me want to share it with all the excitement and passion. So odds on, guys, I'm going to be uploading more Magic the Gathering content. If that's something that you like or there's some stuff in that, please leave any comments down below. Once again, guys, I'm so sorry this is a down video. 15 out of 500 is the score Veilguard gets. I wish you all the best time. I hope every single one of you buys Dragon Age Inquisition. I have a million builds for it, so you can just pick one and be happy on your way in an extremely fun game. Thanks again, everybody. I hope you have a good time, and I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye.